Alright, so the silly sweet boss literally pins our boy Fang Yuan against the wall. Her eyes are totally red, like a fierce little kitten, glaring hard at Fang Yuan. She demands the truth. Does that President Qin have feelings for him or what? When Fang Yuan doesn't deny it, her voice instantly cracks with a crying tone. She whines about how that guy was practically dripping with chemistry while serving him food. She is convinced the guy is trying to hit on him and steal him away. Just as Fang Yuan is about to explain that President Qin is literally his mom, she suddenly tiptoes up. She grabs his face with both hands and slams her soft lips against his out of nowhere. It's a wild mix of sweet red wine and her signature gardenia scent. It's wet, dominant, and totally urgent, leaving our main character completely frozen in place. His mind goes totally blank because she is kissing him so fiercely right now. It's like she's pouring all her worry and possessive energy straight into his mouth. Her tongue wraps with a hint of punishment, occasionally grazing his lower lip with her teeth. It leaves a sharp little sting, kissing him until he can barely even breathe. Only then does she pull back, resting her forehead against his with burning hot breath. Her voice is soft but fierce, heavily laced with a crying tone. But she fiercely threatens Fang Yuan, warning him not to let that person touch him. She threatens to pin him down in the car and kiss him until his legs go weak. Kissing him until he begs for mercy, her flushed cheeks pressing against his chin. Her slightly swollen lips are still trembling, matching those watery yet fierce eyes. Staring dead at him like a little beast protecting its food. Talk about possessive. Fang Yuan's heart skips a beat as his throat muscles tighten. He originally thought tonight was just a regular business dinner with his boss. He didn't expect it to turn into a wild trial of pure gazes. This is crazy. His name is Fang Yuan, and he's actually a traveler. One second he was in his apartment getting blasted by a crazy explosion. The next second, he transmigrated into a male-oriented power fantasy novel he once read. Becoming the male protagonist with the exact same name, and trust me, he's built different. He is the sole heir of the top-tier Huanyu Group, billed as the peak of handsomeness. Boasting an 8-pack and a V-line, he is a walking hormone, only slightly below our readers. He is insanely rich, yet this guy somehow got dragged away by a system? Sent to suffer in other worlds and forced by the system to play his role. At this point, he pulled off a classic run-away-from-home stunt. He claimed to the world that he cut ties with his family and ran away. Starting a tiny company to experience life, though his version of lying flat, is basically just dumping all group business onto his overachieving subordinates. Especially his trusted aide Lao Chen, an apprentice he somehow picked up in another world. Sent by the system to train hard, while Fang Yuan relaxes behind the scenes enjoying life. As an outstanding system employee, our guy secured a vacation in this world. And transmigrated as Fang Yuan, currently experiencing life as a runaway. Right now, his identity is just a regular designer at Sweetheart Design. Fang Yuan, a crisp, anxious voice calls out. It snaps him out of his daze, and he looks up to see his boss, Bai Ningbing. She is the founder of Sweetheart Design, a typical mommy's girl. Her family is super wealthy, but she insists on starting a business to prove herself. First up, we have this absolutely adorable boss whose skin is literally flawless. She has these big, bright eyes that make her look like a startled deer. Naturally, she is the company goddess, but right now she is clutching a file. Her brows are completely furrowed, and her cute face is filled with pure worry. Our main character, Fang Yuan, leans back lazily and asks, "What is wrong, Boss Bai?" She rushes over to his desk and slams the document down with a loud thud. On the verge of tears, she cries that it is all over for them next month. They probably cannot even afford the office rent, and our boy just glances at the paper. It is a payment reminder for Sweetheart Design, their tiny studio that has been open a year. The whole thing only survived this long because of Bai Ningbing's passion and family savings. But business has been totally dead and they are constantly losing money. Fang Yuan calmly tells her to relax because there is always a way out. In his head, he knows he can solve this in a second. Honestly, with just one quick phone call, forget about paying the rent. He could buy the entire office building in a matter of minutes. But where is the fun in that? Since he transmigrated here, he wants a challenge. He is literally just doing this to experience the struggle of normal life. Watching his cute boss panic over thousands of dollars in rent is honestly way more fun than looking at multi-billion-dollar financial reports all day. But she is not convinced. Bai Ningbing pouts with teary red eyes, crying that they are truly out of options. Their last client is ghosting them on the final payment, leaving only pocket change. Just as Fang Yuan is about to speak, her phone suddenly starts ringing. Bai Ningbing glances at the screen and her eyes instantly go wide in shock. It is like a lifeline dropped from heaven, so she scrambles to answer it. She acts incredibly polite, greeting a certain Secretary Zhang while the caller explains something. Our girl's face completely changes from pure panic to shock to absolute ecstasy. After hanging up, she is so hyped that she literally grabs his arm. Shaking him wildly, she yells that they are finally saved. She keeps shouting they are saved while a sweet gardenia scent drifts over. Feeling her soft touch on his arm, our boy's body instantly gets a reaction. Honestly, this body is way too sensitive, so he awkwardly takes a step back. He clears his throat and tells her to calm down, asking what is up. Bai Ningbing's face is flushed as she yells that it was Shenghua Capital. They have a high-end club project and specifically handpicked their tiny studio to bid. Hearing this, our boy Fang Yuan is completely stunned. Wait, is that not his mom Qin Lan's massive investment firm? Her company is the absolute boss of the investment world. A single deal of theirs could buy their little studio 10 times over. Why on earth would a giant company like that reach out to them? Bai Ningbing's eyes shine with absolute worship, saying President Qin personally handpicked them. She asks him if he knows the legendary richest woman, Qin Lan. She calls her ultimate idol, and he is just like, yeah, obviously. Because that is literally his biological mother, the ultimate final boss of business. Looks like his secret rich kid background is finally catching up to him. His mom still can't help worrying, secretly looking out for her son. The client requested a dinner meeting with their lead designer tonight. They want to discuss the concept, while Bai Ningbing clasps her hands pleadingly. She looks at him with begging eyes, calling Fang Yuan the absolute best designer they have. The whole project depends on him, and he notices her eyes sparkling with hope. Seeing her complete trust, Fang Yuan just smiles and nods. He hasn't seen his mom in ages anyway, making Bai Ningbing almost jump with joy. She urges him to get ready quickly so they can head out together. Fang Yuan is surprised she is going too, but she proudly puffs out her chest. Sporting a total boss babe attitude, she reminds him he is her employee. She insists on protecting him just in case the big client turns out to be sketchy. How could she let her precious employee face a stressful business dinner all alone? Honestly, looking at her cute face, she's trying so hard to protect our boy Fang Yuan. Fang Yuan bursts out laughing, wondering if this girl has any idea who they are meeting. The terrifying client she wants to shield him from is literally his own mother. At 7 p.m., they stand outside a VIP room at the city's most luxurious private club. Bai Ningbing is sweating from pure anxiety, constantly fixing her formal outfit. She nervously whispers to Fang Yuan, asking if her makeup looks okay. Her voice is literally trembling as she waits for his reaction. He assures her she looks perfect, noticing she dressed up in a stunning new suit. The elegant cream-colored skirt suit perfectly highlights her gorgeous swan neck. Her usual cute, bubbly vibe is replaced by a sophisticated and smart look. Honestly, she looks incredibly charming, but she is still super anxious. She keeps checking her small mirror, making Fang Yuan smile helplessly at her. He gently reaches out to tuck a stray lock of hair behind her ear. His fingers accidentally brush her warm cheek, sending a sudden flutter through his chest. Bai Ningbing blushes instantly, her face turning as red as a ripe apple. She quickly looks away, clearing her throat to suggest they head inside. Fang Yuan pulls his hand back and casually pushes open the heavy wooden door. The room has a beautiful antique design with a massive mahogany table inside. She has a slender figure and carries an incredibly graceful, noble aura. Even though she is nearly 50 years old, she looks exceptionally stunning. Time has only added to her absolute charm, leaving subtle laugh lines. She is sipping her tea with pure elegance, looking like a total queen. Hearing the door open, she looks up and locks eyes with Fang Yuan. A mix of affection and helplessness quickly flashes across her eyes. Underneath it all is pure doting love, making Fang Yuan silently sigh. He thinks her acting is totally slipping because her loving gaze is too obvious. This elegant and wealthy lady is actually Fang Yuan's biological mother. Meet Qin Lan, the big boss of Shenghua capital. This is hilarious. Bai Ningbing completely misses the silent exchange between mother and son. She bows a full 90 degrees, her voice cracking slightly from pure panic. She introduces herself as Bai Ningbing, presenting Fang Yuan as their lead designer. Qin Lan shifts her gaze away from her son to look at Bai Ningbing. Qin Lan flashes a gentle smile, telling President Bai there is no need to be so formal. She invites her to sit. Her gaze is heavy with authority, yet Bai Ningbing feels entirely at ease. Like a warm breeze, she thanks President Qin for being so incredibly kind. Just call her Ningbing. Flattered by the warmth, she pulls Fang Yuan down to sit with her. Then, his mom's gaze locks back onto Fang Yuan, scanning him from head to toe. She asks if this is designer Fang, noting that he is indeed very handsome. She smiles as she speaks, but there is a faint hidden edge of maternal irritation in her voice. He looks a bit too thin, she remarks, asking if working out on his own is too tough. Fang Yuan's eyelid twitches hard. Honestly, his mom is laying this script on way too thick. But Bai Ningbing completely misses the subtext and proudly boasts that President Qin has no idea. She claims Fang Yuan is the absolute backbone of their company, possessing incredible talent. His only flaw is working too hard, constantly pulling all-nighters to finish projects. She says she can never get him to stop, continuing her praise while nudging him sharply with her elbow, non-verbally demanding that he start showing off his skills. Fang Yuan can only force a tight professional smile, muttering that working hard for the company is just his absolute duty. Hearing this, Qin Lan lets out a slow, dramatic sigh. Kids these days, she laments, they just have no idea how to take care of themselves. Soon, the food arrives, and the first dish is a beautifully steamed grouper. His mom instantly spins the table, taking the absolute prime cut of the fish belly. She plops it straight into Fang Yuan's bowl, calling him over to dig in. Eat some fish to nourish that brain, she urges, but he absolutely detests fish. Picking out the bones is a total nightmare, a fact his entire family knows. Bai Ningbing's eyes light up as she leans in to whisper a soft, "Wow." President Qin is incredibly thoughtful, she says, noting how much she must like him. Fang Yuan just grimaces in silence as the second dish, a rich soup, is served. His mom personally ladles out a bowl and slides it over, declaring it pure essence. Insisting he drinks up, but he is literally allergic to seafood. There is no way she forgot. Bai Ningbing, suddenly channeling her inner Sherlock Holmes, begins to furrow her brow. She can definitely sense something is off here as the third dish, sweet and sour pork, arrives. The second the plate hits the table, his mom's chopsticks fly across the Lazy Susan. Piling another massive piece into his bowl, guessing that young people must love sweet and sour. She tells him to dig in. Fang Yuan stares at the growing mountain in his bowl. His temples start to throb. At this point, he finally gets what is going on. His mom is not being sweet. She is using her own passive-aggressive way to show her anger, punishing him for running away from home and skipping meals like a stubborn brat. She is literally trying to stuff him to death while Bai Ningbing sits beside him. Her expression shifts from initial joy to deep confusion and finally to pure defensive suspicion. She looks at Fang Yuan's mom like she is a wolf targeting her precious lamb. With every new dish served, his mom aggressively piles more food onto his plate. And get this, she is specifically picking everything he loves, like sweet cola chicken wings, pineapple pork, and sweet mandarin fish, literally all of his childhood favorites. His bowl is absolutely overflowing, prompting him to beg President Qin to finally stop. He tries to block her chopsticks, but she casually brushes him off. His mom flashes a sweet motherly grin, telling him to eat up since he looks so thin. Pretend it is just your auntie showing some love, she says, heavily emphasizing the word auntie. So Fang Yuan just keeps his head down and shovels food, while Bai Ningbing has gone completely silent. She's literally just sitting there, quietly slamming back glass after glass of red wine. The way she looks at him is pure pity and worry, making this entire dinner feel like a horror movie for our boy.
Honestly, his stomach is turning, but he somehow survives until the painful dinner finally ends.
Bai Ningbing immediately snatches the bill, pays, and practically drags Fang Yuan out of there. She's walking so fast, you'd think they are running from a literal monster. But then his mom's voice calls out from behind them asking about the project. She says she'll have her secretary follow up tomorrow, but then she pauses, looking at the young designer. Giving Fang Yuan a super meaningful look, she adds that she really appreciates him. She even says she hopes for more private meetings, which instantly makes Bai Ningbing freeze up. His boss turns around, forcing a smile that looks absolutely painful. She somehow manages to squeak out that they will definitely give it their all.
After a quick goodbye, she literally hauls him away like they're escaping a crime scene.
Outside in the parking lot, the cool night breeze finally hits their faces. It finally washes away that suffocating VIP room vibe, but Bai Ningbing is still walking ahead in dead silence. The sharp clicking of her heels on the pavement is the only sound in the night. Honestly, every single step feels incredibly tense, and under the streetlights, she looks so stressed. She looks like she's carrying the weight of the world, so Fang Yuan catches up and asks if she's all right. She stops in her tracks and turns around, her face pale under the yellow street lamp. With a dead serious look on her face, she completely ignores his question. Instead, she asks if he is somehow a magnet for middle-aged women. Fang Yuan is just standing there utterly confused while she scans him from head to toe. She's looking at him like he's some rare, priceless artifact up for auction. She mutters to herself that he's definitely got the looks and the build, plus a totally innocent vibe, which apparently explains everything. She calls him the ultimate sugar mama magnet, a mix of innocent puppy and cool guy. Our boy is completely speechless, asking her what her actual point is. Suddenly, like she just made a life-altering decision, she grabs his hand. Her hand is freezing cold and low-key trembling. Looking up, she locks her bright eyes onto his with pure intensity. In the most serious voice ever, she warns him to stay far away from President Qin. He's completely stunned, and before he can even react, she warns him that she's bad news. Seeing him just blanking out, she gets even more frantic and raises her voice. She asks if he saw the absolute hunger in President Qin's eyes at dinner. That wasn't some professional boss vibe. She says it was literally a hungry wolf eyeing a lamb. A hungry wolf and a lamb? I'm losing it here. Did his mom hear this? She literally became a predator in her future daughter-in-law's eyes, and all those dishes she served him? His boss thinks she wasn't being nice. She thinks it was a direct test. She's getting so worked up explaining this that her face turns completely red. She says President Qin wants him to know she can buy him anything he wants. She actually thinks his mom is trying to corrupt his pure soul with cash. Looking down at his cheap street stall outfit that cost less than 500 yuan, Fang Yuan is in deep thought. He's really questioning life right now, but she keeps going, asking if he heard her final warning. She even mimics his mom's voice, repeating the part about private meetings. With a face full of disgust, she asks him how he can possibly miss such an obvious hint. When Bai Ningbing warns him that President Qin wants to sponsor him, Fang Yuan literally bursts out laughing. How can you still laugh? Bai Ningbing stomps her feet, her eyes turning red. She yells that she is being totally serious and asks Fang Yuan if he's just stupid. You just graduated, she warns. You have no idea how dangerous people can be. That President Qin is clearly the type who just plays with people. She is a female predator who toys with young guys just because they are handsome and young. Her motives are totally dirty. Seeing her get so worked up that she is almost crying, something in Fang Yuan's heart completely softens because this silly girl's own company is literally going bankrupt. Instead of kissing up to the big investor, she is out here worrying about her lowly employee. Honestly, worrying about him getting taken advantage of is just too cute. Fang Yuan immediately wipes the smile off his face and fakes a terrified expression to play along. You know, President Bai, he says, when you put it like that, it actually makes sense. What should I do now? She is our biggest client. Seeing him finally get it, Bai Ningbing sighs in relief and instantly switches to Mama Bear mode. She pats his shoulder and tells him with absolute authority to just trust her. She promises to handle this project personally and manage all communication with Shenghua Capital. Everything goes through her now, and he is banned from having any contact with President Qin. No private meetings, no answering her phone calls, and absolutely no replying to her texts. Understood?
Understood, boss, Fang Yuan replies, barely holding back his laughter.
He acts like a totally obedient puppy while she rumbles through her purse.
She pulls out a bright pink self-defense alarm with a little bear hanging off it.
She shoves it into his hand, telling him to keep it, just in case.
If that woman tries to force herself on you, she says, just press this button. Then scream for help at the top of your lungs. Looking at this pink alarm, Fang Yuan
Is completely speechless because it absolutely does not match his vibe.
Don't be embarrassed, Fang Yuan, Bai Ningbing says with a super serious face.
Guys need to learn to protect themselves out there too, because this world is full of bad people. He solemnly slips the pink alarm into his pocket and thanks her.
He promises to keep himself safe, which finally makes her nod with satisfaction.
Honestly, her proud little expression is so cute. Come on, she says, let me drive you home.
She jingles her car keys, and Fang Yuan looks at her bright pink Beetle.
Seeing her smug look, he can barely hold back his laughter at this point.
Well, if she wants to play the hero saving the damsel trope, who is he to stop her?
He's down to play along. First thing next morning when he walks into the office,
Bai Ningbing immediately calls him into her office and hands him some hot soy milk. She hands over a sandwich, looking exhausted with huge dark circles under her eyes.
"Eat up," she says. Fang Yuan takes it and asks if she didn't sleep well.
A wave of warmth hits his heart as she lets out a massive yawn. She stayed up all night worrying about how to pull off the project.
Shenghua Capital's standards are insane, so they need a mind-blowing proposal to win them over.
Fang Yuan looks at her tired face and low-key feels pretty bad for her. This girl is literally carrying all the pressure on her own shoulders just to protect him. He wants to tell her he can easily handle it, but she immediately cuts him off. "Shush," she says, "just listen to me." So she pulls a massive stack of documents out of her drawer and slides it right over to our boy.
She tells him she spent the entire night putting together these project specs and some initial concepts.
He needs to check it out. From now on, he only does design. She insists that all external communication is her job now. Pausing for a second, she adds that this especially goes for dealing with President Qin. Our boy opens up the folder only to find detailed highlights color-coded with different pens.
It is ridiculously thorough, packed with notes, and in some spots she even left little details.
There are cute little hand-drawn emojis marking key points, making him tell her she does not need to try this hard.
Not a chance. She is completely resolute.
This deal is too critical for their company, meaning failure is literally not an option. Leaning in close, she whispers mysteriously that she is actually protecting him from the big bad boss.
Her master plan is to isolate him from that female devil of a client entirely.
Her warm breath hits his neck, making him tickle and instinctively shrink back a bit. Honestly, seeing her look so incredibly smug is hilarious. She looks like a proud little duck.
He just nods. Truly a genius plan.
Then his phone rings.
The screen shows a call from his mother, and he instinctively reaches out to answer it. Seeing the screen, Bai Ningbing snatches the phone away instantly, her face dropping as she reads the contact name. Who on earth is this Empress Mother, she demands to know. Her eyes are filled with pure suspicion, but our boy honestly tells her it is just his mom. She pauses, visibly relieved. But she immediately gets suspicious again, asking if he is absolutely sure that is his actual mother.
She wonders if it is a secret code name for President Qin, making him laugh at how paranoid she is.
Reassuring her it is his real mom, she finally hands the phone back with deep suspicion. But she does not back away, literally leaning in to eavesdrop on the entire call. He has no choice. He picks up. His mom's voice comes through, sounding amused as she teases her bratty son. She asks if he made it home last night and how things went with Miss Bai. He says everything was fine, stealing a glance at Bai Ningbing sitting stiffly beside him. His mom bursts out laughing, finding the whole situation incredibly entertaining. She mentions how the young lady tried so hard to protect him last night. Bai Ningbing almost fought the staff at checkout, accusing them of forcing him to drink. Hearing this, he is shocked. She says she sent over some minor requirements and expects him to cooperate. She wants to test if this potential daughter-in-law is reliable, leaving our boy wondering what she demanded.
His heart sinks as his mom casually says she only gave her a 7-day deadline.
She expects a perfect design draft by then, making him gasp in absolute shock.
7 days for a flawless design? Literally impossible. Is his mom actually testing a future daughter-in-law, or is she just trying to ruin his life? Before we can even process this devastating news, he hangs up the call. Right on cue, Bai Ningbing's phone rings, and it is the secretary on the line. She puts it on speaker, and the secretary speaks in a highly professional tone. Every single detail matches up perfectly with what his mom just warned him about. President Qin expects to see a fully completed, mind-blowing proposal within 7 days.
Talk about final boss energy. She really did not hold back with this challenge.
That includes all the 3D renders, construction blueprints, and the budget sheets.
If they cannot deliver, this entire partnership is officially dead.
The call cuts. The office falls into absolute suffocating silence. Bai Ningbing just sits there completely frozen, her face losing all color. Her lips are literally trembling. A complete proposal in 7 days?
How is that even possible? She whispers to herself.
The spark in her eyes fades. Fang Yuan knows this is just his mom playing dirty. It is a blatant test for Bai Ningbing to see if she backs down.
If she folds now, she is out of the game. He watches her struggle.
Feeling bad for her, Fang Yuan gently suggests they should just call it quits. The demands are just too crazy, but he is low-key just testing her reaction. He wants to see her true resolve, and suddenly, Bai Ningbing snaps her head up.
Her lost expression instantly hardens into pure determination. She slams the table and stands up.
Like a cornered cat finding its claws? No, she is not giving up. She grits her teeth, stressing every single word. This is their absolute only shot. The more they think we will fail, the more we have to prove them wrong. Her eyes are burning with pure defiance now. Did they really think we would just run away scared?
Well, no shot. She rolls up her sleeves, totally ready to grind. Fang Yuan, she says.
Listen to me. Starting right now, we are practically living in this office. We have less than 6 days, but we will make this plan work. We are going to blow them all away. Watching her fire up, Fang Yuan smiles. Honestly, this girl is built different. You gotta love her stubborn streak. He stands up, walks over, and rolls up his own sleeves. I am with you, he says. For the next 6 days, they basically turn the office into their home. By day, they are constantly brainstorming, sketching, and building 3D models. By night, she gets so exhausted that she just crashes right on her desk while he watches her sleep. Fang Yuan reaches out, wanting to brush a stray piece of hair from her cheek. But he stops halfway, terrified of waking her up from her rest. Instead, he gently takes off his jacket and drapes it over her shoulders. Then he boots up his computer and pulls up his own secret designs. He quietly starts blending his own genius concepts into their joint project. These are all things he casually designed in his spare time just because he was bored. Honestly, any of them could easily win an international award. He's basically a walking cheat code.
He cannot stand to see his cute boss work herself to death. Finally, night 6 arrives.
The final proposal is officially complete. Bai Ningbing stares at the screen. The 3D render is flawless, and tears of pure joy instantly fill her eyes.
She spins around and throws her arms around him, crying out that they actually did it.
We made it happen. Her soft body crashes right into his chest. That familiar sweet gardenia scent completely envelops him, and his entire body freezes.
He wants to pull back, but his hands move on their own, wrapping around her waist. Her face is buried deep in his chest, her warm tears soaking his shirt.
This is amazing, she sobs softly. It is honestly so amazing. He gently pats her back, whispering in a raspy voice that they succeeded. In this exact moment, all the family drama and corporate politics completely vanish. He forgets about laying low. Right now, all he wants is to hold her close.
He just wants to hold this cute, silly girl forever.
The day after submitting, they already get a reply from Shenghua Capital. The secretary calls to say President Qin is super satisfied with everything. He even invites them to the project site for a partner meeting. Bai Ningbing is literally spinning around her office in pure joy. She screams, "This is amazing! Their hard work actually paid off!"
She grabs his hand, grinning like a kid, making his heart melt.
His mood completely skyrockets, but then she suddenly shifts the vibe.
She looks super worried. They have to face that President Qin again.
She warns him to stay far away, and he barely holds back a laugh. He promises to maintain a safe distance of at least 1 meter.
She pouts, warning him not to let that player get too close.
Got it. The actual site is up on a scenic mountain.
It is beautiful, and Shenghua wants to build a luxury private resort here.
A massive high-end business club. But when they arrive, the other company's already waiting, led by a woman in black.
She looks flawless, but radiates a major stay-away-from-me vibe.
An absolute ice queen, but the moment she sees Fang Yuan,
her cold face instantly cracks, shock, confusion, and total disbelief. Then comes pure contempt as she spits out his name, Fang Yuan.
Sneering, she asks how he even got here. It is so toxic.
All right, talk about a small world. The drama is already starting. This Ice Queen is none other than the second female villain. Fang Yuan's ex-fiancé, Liu Ruyan, the cold president of the Liu Group.
Raised to be an heir, she views feelings as a total weakness. While career-obsessed workaholic, back then, it was just an arranged marriage. But she absolutely despised the old Fang Yuan for being a useless playboy.
She unilaterally called off the engagement at the banquet, totally humiliating his family.
That humiliation was exactly why he ran away. He greets her casually.
Just a chill greeting, but Bai Ningbing immediately senses the icy tension. She steps right in front of him like a protective little lion.
Introducing herself as Bai Ningbing, she introduces Fang Yuan as her designer.
She politely extends her hand, asking who she is dealing with.
Liu Ruyan just glares at her with pure, aggressive hostility.
No handshake. She just lets out a super disrespectful snort instead. Sweetheart design? She sneers that she has never heard of such a joke. How did they even land this project? Bai Ningbing turns completely pale.
She turns to Fang Yuan, mocking how incredibly low he has fallen. Her eyes are full of contempt. An ex-heir of Huanyu Group?
Reduced to working at a third-rate company? How pathetic of him. Every word stabs like a needle. Bai Ningbing is literally shaking. Not out of fear, she is absolutely furious. She snaps her head up, eyes burning with pure rage at her. She demands respect, declaring sweetheart design is her own hard work. They might be small now, but they are definitely not third-rate. She declares that Fang Yuan is her employee and her most important partner.
She refuses to let anyone insult him, and it is the first time we see Bai Ningbing get this incredibly angry. She is standing there like a furious little cat.
With all her fur puffed up, using her small body to shield Fang Yuan from all the outside malice. Even the arrogant Liu Ruyan is completely stunned. She definitely did not expect this seemingly fragile girl to have this kind of energy. Imagine having the guts to talk back. Liu Ruyan just sneers, calling him her mere employee.
She asks if Bai Ningbing even has a single clue who is actually standing behind her.
He's the sole heir of the legendary Fang family and the future boss of Huanyu Group. They belong to completely different worlds. Liu Ruyan really thinks this massive reveal is going to terrify Bai Ningbing. But Bai Ningbing just looks back at Fang Yuan with the most locked-in, determined eyes.
Turning back to Liu Ruyan, she says clearly that she does not care who he used to be.
To her, he is just Fang Yuan, her incredibly talented and capable employee who deserves respect. He is not anyone's accessory, and definitely not a tool for her to show off some cheap superiority.
She tells Liu Ruyan that if she is here for actual work, great, but if she is just looking for trouble,
then she can get lost because they are not putting up with it. She grabs Fang Yuan's hand to leave, making Liu Ruyan's voice go absolutely screechy as she demands they stop. But right at that exact second, steady footsteps start echoing closer and closer. A voice asks what the noise is about. It is his mom.
Qin Lan's calm voice rings out, and the moment she steps into the room, the entire vibe completely shifts. She has Secretary Zhang right behind her,
alongside a squad of project directors walking in with pure confidence.
With those razor-sharp eyes, she is radiating absolute final boss queen energy.
Liu Ruyan's smug attitude vanishes instantly as she hides her claws.
And forces on a fake, respectful smile, greeting President Qin with absolute desperation.
Qin Lan barely gives her a passing glance and just nods, totally unbothered.
She does not even waste her breath on her, completely bypassing Liu Ruyan. To look directly at Fang Yuan and Bai Ningbing, seeing how tightly she is holding his hand and shielding him like a bodyguard, a super satisfied smile flashes in his mom's eyes. She warmly welcomes Ningbing and Fang Yuan, completely changing her tone.
She sounds so incredibly sweet now. It is like she is a totally different person.
Bai Ningbing tenses up a bit, but she still musters up all her courage to look her right in the eye and say a respectful hello, squeezing Fang Yuan's hand even tighter.
She is terrified that Qin Lan's insane presence is going to scare him, while Liu Ruyan's face
is turning a spectacular shade of pale. There is absolutely no way she saw this coming.
How on earth is President Qin acting this friendly with a random girl like Bai Ningbing?
Still trying to cope, Liu Ruyan asks who she is, prompting Qin Lan to act like she just noticed her. She points right at Bai Ningbing with a proud mother-in-law grin on her face.
This is President Bai, she says proudly, the absolute mastermind behind Sweetheart Design. Our entire major project design has been fully and completely handed over to her company.
Talk about a massive endorsement. She is fully trusting her and her team with everything. Liu Ruyan's jaw literally hits the floor because her own family company only got a basic construction contract and could not even touch the core design process.
Yet this tiny, unknown studio managed to sweep the entire design rights for the project. This is actually crazy, and a totally panicked Liu Ruyan is about to lose her mind.
To be fair, the mighty Manhwa Group usually only collaborates with elite international design firms. So the director sneers that he has never even heard of Sweetheart Design, calling this decision reckless, total death wish.
Wait, did this guy just publicly question the MC's mom? Her smile instantly vanishes. Her gaze turns ice cold. She asks him if he's trying to teach her how to do her job.
The toxic ex, Liu Ruyan, turns pale as a ghost, breaking out in cold sweat. The director starts stammering, desperately trying to backtrack, but it is way too late. The legendary mom shuts him down instantly, saying her decisions require zero explanation. Pure boss energy. She makes it clear she fully trusts Fang Yuan and Ningbing. She holds her hand warmly. She tells her to ignore the haters and focus entirely on this project,
promising even bigger deals in the future.
Poor Ningbing is completely dazed, staring back and forth between the power mom and Fang Yuan. Her brain is literally short-circuiting. Why is this legendary business tyrant acting so sweet?
Is she trying to build her up just to completely crush her later? Ningbing decides that is definitely it, and her eyes instantly fill with deep suspicion again. Meanwhile, Liu Ruyan is losing her mind. Seeing Ningbing get all the love feels like a massive slap to her face.
She glares at Fang Yuan and Ningbing holding hands, her eyes practically dripping with envy. If looks could kill, they would be dead. The mom just breezes past her. Leaving a fuming Liu Ruyan in the dust, she links arms with Ningbing and pulls her inside.
She suddenly stops. She whispers that he has pretty good taste.
Honestly, we all love a supportive queen like her.
Fang Yuan thinks her wingwoman skills are way too obvious.
Her face is literally a whole color palette right now, and honestly, it is so incredibly satisfying to watch. Having a powerful mom back you up while your toxic ex crumbles? Best feeling ever.
And knowing the girl he likes is also the one standing by him makes it 10 times better.
Even if her actual reason for protecting him is honestly a little bit ridiculous. So the meeting starts and it is basically a massive praise fest led entirely by the mom. She repeatedly praises the concept, calling it super fresh and absolutely brilliant.
She keeps hyping up Ningbing's clever spatial layout, asking how she even came up with it.
Then she praises Fang Yuan's details, saying these kids have a bright future. Non-stop compliments.
She is practically worshipping Fang Yuan and Ningbing, while Liu Ruyan can only sit there in silence.
She can't even get a single word in.
They brought stacks of design documents, but did not even get the chance to open them once. She just has to watch them get along like best friends.
Feeling like a total outsider, her expression keeps getting darker by the second. Meeting over, the mom heads out.
But first, she stops to remind Ningbing to keep up the great work, telling her to call her directly if she ever runs into any kind of trouble. That is a direct hotline. Ningbing just nods stiffly, looking hilariously confused. And the very second the mom steps out of the room, Liu Ruyan completely snaps. She slams the documents onto the table with a loud bang, glaring daggers at Bai Ningbing. She sneers, mocking President Bai for having such incredible moves, wondering how she pulled this off. To make President Qin so incredibly happy, which actually scares Bai Ningbing into taking a step back. But our girl gathers her courage to speak up, saying they won this deal fair and square. Fair and square? Honestly, Liu Ruyan reacts like she just heard the biggest joke of the century, mocking her tiny workshop that can barely even pay its own rent. She tells Bai Ningbing not to be so naive because someone as powerful as President Qin would never actually care about her skills while shooting a highly suggestive glare right at Fang Yuan. Her tone is pure trash, sneering that in the end it is all because of him. Bai Ningbing's face goes pale as Liu Ruyan warns her she knows exactly what they are doing, pointing out their cheap little schemes while stepping closer and closer, accusing her of making Fang Yuan sell his looks to seduce President Qin just to secure the deal. She scoffs that Bai Ningbing will do any dirty trick just to climb to the top. "Stop lying," Bai Ningbing stammers, literally shaking with anger, but Liu Ruyan just cold laughs at her. Demand to know why President Qin treats him so differently if it is just professional respect. She claims she worked under President Qin for years and never saw him care about any rookie like this. Hearing this, even Bai Ningbing completely freezes up. Because honestly, the way President Qin acts around Fang Yuan is pretty wild. Could it be that Fang Yuan actually sacrificed his own body to save her struggling company? She slowly turns to look at him, her eyes completely filled with pure, unadulterated shock. Just absolute heartbreak and guilt. Seeing her look so utterly devastated is honestly so painful to watch. Fang Yuan instantly panics, realizing this silly girl is already cooking up some crazy drama in her head. Before he can even explain, this toxic ex decided to throw more fuel on the fire, telling Bai Ningbing to stay away because Fang Yuan is way out of her league, declaring that her precious romance is just a silly little game to him, warning that once he gets bored, she will be left with nothing. But Fang Yuan finally snaps. He steps right in front of Bai Ningbing, shielding her while staring straight at Liu Ruyan. Her face is twisted with pure jealousy as he tells her to drop that pathetic superiority complex. He speaks in a quiet but heavy voice, warning her to stay out of their business. The sheer pressure in his tone actually leaves Liu Ruyan completely speechless for a second, standing there utterly frozen. Then Fang Yuan looks her dead in the eye to deliver the final blow, telling her to keep her filthy thoughts to herself because Bai Ningbing is 100 times better than her. Without another word, he grabs the still-dazed Bai Ningbing and just walks away. Behind them, Liu Ruyan goes absolutely ballistic, screaming that he is going to regret this. Screaming it over and over, but our guy does not even bother looking back. Because honestly, his only real regret is ever getting engaged to a toxic piece of work like her. Once they finally step out of the meeting room, Bai Ningbing finally snaps back to reality. She pulls her hand away, looking up at him with teary, bloodshot eyes, begging him to tell her if those awful rumors are actually true. Her voice shakes as she asks if he really sacrificed himself to President Qin for the company. He looks down at her red, tear-filled eyes, feeling a mix of frustration and amusement. Like, what kind of wild, tragic K-drama is she cooking up in that little head of hers? He just sighs, completely defeated by her wild imagination, slowly reaching out to gently wipe the tears away from her eyes, asking if she is actually stupid, which instantly makes her super flustered. Fang Yuan asks her straight up, does she seriously think he is the type to sell himself out? She just bites her lip in silence, but the sheer hurt in her eyes says absolutely everything. It actually makes him laugh. Like, fine, even if he did, what about her? He gently grabs her chin to force her to look at him, asking why she defended him, especially when she thought he got this contract by selling his looks.
She is completely stunned by his question, making him ask if she is just stupid. He asks her again. The big client was standing right there.
If she offends them and the whole deal falls through, then what? What about her company rent? But she just shouts that she did not care. Tears welling up, she finally screams that she just could not stand hearing them talk trash. She sobs that he is so talented and works so hard. Honestly, what a massive green flag.
Why should anyone get to write him off as some pretty boy living off his face? Large tears start streaming down her face as she admits she just felt so bad for him.
She starts sobbing, unable to finish her sentence, looking absolutely heartbroken.
Seeing her cry like this absolutely crushes Fang Yuan. He cannot take it anymore and pulls her into a tight, desperate hug. "You silly girl," he whispers in her ear. "I could never bear to make you hurt." In this messy world, her pure heart is the one thing he wants to protect. She tenses up in his arms at first, then slowly melts into the embrace. Wrapping her arms back around him, she begs Fang Yuan to promise her something.
She mumbles against his chest, telling him to never do anything stupid again.
They can always find another project, but there is only one of him.
He closes his eyes, soaking in her warmth, and softly promises he will. But honestly, this girl has no idea he would do anything stupid for her. Ever since that massive face-off with Lu Ruyan at the project site, Bai Ningbing dialed her protective mode up to 11, basically gluing herself to him. Her official excuse? To keep that female devil and her lackeys away. At work, she literally moves her entire desk right next to his. And after work, she insists on walking him to his door, making sure he is safe.
One day, his mom calls just to check in on how he's doing lately.
Bai Ningbing's radar immediately goes off, and she snatches the phone right away.
Hello, Director Qin. This is Bai Ningbing. Fang Yuan is currently very busy.
He is unavailable right now, so is there anything you need? You can tell me, and I will be sure to pass it along. There is a dead silence on the other end for 3 seconds before his mom loses it. Left totally confused, Bai Ningbing hangs up and tells him with a dead serious face. See, she has not given up yet. She even dared to call you directly. Seeing her act like a protective little mama bird makes his heart melt. Honestly, this possessive girlfriend trope is giving me life. Meanwhile, the project is moving smoothly, with Fang Yuan quietly helping behind the scenes. Bai Ningbing is absolutely leveling up her skills, handling everything like a boss. She is really starting to look like a true leader, managing the team flawlessly. She is definitely not that stressed out girl crying over rent anymore. One day, they receive an invitation to the prestigious Golden Tripod Design Awards. This is the highest honor in the country, and yes, they got nominated. Bai Ningbing is actually shaking while holding this gold-trimmed invitation. Fang Yuan just nods because their clubhouse project made the final cut. It got nominated for Best Commercial Space Design. She is literally too stunned to speak. She gasps that they got nominated for the Golden Tripod Award, but he just smiles. But that nomination is just the start. Fang Yuan already had Assistant Sheng handle the award. This trophy is 100% theirs, a perfect surprise gift for his cute little boss. On the night of the ceremony, Bai Ningbing is dressed to absolute perfection. She is wearing a starry blue evening gown Fang Yuan picked out, looking absolutely breathtaking. They instantly steal the spotlight the moment they walk in, which naturally triggers some major haters. And of course, the toxic ex Liu Ruyan is there, acting as one of the presenters. Since she won last year, she struts right over to them the second she spots them. Wearing a fake smile, she says, "President Bai, Fang Yuan, what a coincidence." Bai Ningbing is totally unbothered now and calmly replies, "I heard you got nominated too."
Liu Ruyan throws her some shade and smugly says it is great that newcomers have drive.
But the Golden Tripod Award is not that easy to win, so just focus on participating. She is literally calling them losers who were just filler. Bai Ningbing is ready to clap back. But then Liu Ruyan shifts her target to Fang Yuan, calling him completely hopeless. She mocks him for giving up his heir status for this woman. Look at him now. He is apparently just begging for attention on red carpets, loud enough for everyone to hear. Instantly, all eyes in the room turn to them with mocking whispers. Bai Ningbing is completely red with anger from all these judgmental looks.
She squeezes his hand in pure rage, but our boy just calmly pats her hand.
Telling her to stay cool, he looks up at Liu Ruyan with a smirk. President Liu. You seem pretty obsessed with my private life. What, are you starting to regret dumping me? Her face instantly stiffens. She scoffs, like she just heard the funniest joke ever. Dump a useless nobody? But Fang Yuan replies, you do not get to decide that. His smile never fades. Just then, the main doors swing open as an imposing middle-aged man walks in. Surrounded by a massive crowd, his arrival instantly causes a huge stir. Bro, it is the chairman of Huanyu Group. Why is he even here? He literally never attends these events. Huanyu Group is a massive titan in real estate. They are even bigger than Huanyu Group, and this legend is Chairman Bai Ningbing himself. He is an industry god who can shake the whole market with one word. Fang Yuan just smiles even wider because this legendary figure is a very special guest. No shot, he is actually Fang Yuan's future father-in-law. Even Bai Ningbing freezes in shock. She instinctively tries to hide, but the big boss has already spotted her. He pushes right through the crowd, heading straight toward them. Everyone watches his every move, and the toxic ex Liu Ruyan is literally holding her breath.
She actually thinks he is coming over to greet her since their families do business together.
She quickly fixes her dress and puts on her most fake, perfect smile. But he walks straight past her, didn't even look. He stops right in front of Bai Ningbing, his face softening into a warm, doting smile. Ningbing, you silly child, you have been gone for so long now. You do not even call your own family anymore, he says, reaching his hand out. He casually reaches out, brushing a stray hair behind Bai Ningbing's ear. The entire room goes dead silent as everyone tries to process this. Like this is the ruthless business tycoon who is famous for being cold-hearted. Yet here he is, speaking so gently to the president of Sweetheart Design. He even calls her by her first name, and Liu Ruyan's smile instantly freezes. She stares at this in absolute shock, her mind going completely blank. Wait, President Bai Ningbing? Could she actually be? A terrifying realization hits her, while Bai Ningbing herself is stunned by her father's move. Her face turns bright red as she asks why he is even here. If he didn't show up, his daughter would be bullied. Bai Ningbing glares at Liu Ruyan. His gaze turns sharp as a knife, making her heart drop in pure terror. She instinctively takes a step back as he asks, since when his daughter became someone a lowlife like her could ever look down on or insult? Boom. That sentence hits Liu Ruyan's brain like an actual bomb. Bai Ningbing's daughter is Bai Ningbing, the actual heiress of the massive Huanyu Group. No shot. How could she possibly be the daughter of the wealthiest tycoon? If she is, why on earth would she run such a tiny, struggling company? Honestly, Liu Ruyan's entire worldview is completely shattered at this point. She looks at Bai Ningbing, protected by her father, then glares at our completely calm main character. And then boom, she realizes she's been the clown this entire time. The whole crowd is still reeling from the explosive news about the heiress. Meanwhile, Liu Ruyan looks pale as a ghost, literally about to collapse. Her proud family background is nothing but a total joke next to Huanyu. To think she just mocked her for running some low-tier, insignificant workshop. Right then, an even louder commotion erupts near the entrance of the venue. It's CEO Qin Lan of Shenghua Capital. Man, what a crazy night this is. Both corporate giants are here. And wait, she's actually our boy's mom. Accompanied by Secretary Zhang, Qin Lan walks in, radiating absolute boss energy. Everyone instinctively parts to make a path, and Bai Ningbing steps forward to greet her. He welcomes her warmly, noting that Chairman Bai also made an appearance. Our boy's mom shakes his hand with a polite, friendly smile. This legendary meeting between two peak titans sends the venue's hype through the roof. Everyone cranes their necks, dying to catch even a single word of their conversation. Seeing this, a tiny spark of hope lights up inside Liu Ruyan again. Surely CEO Qin still likes her, and if she can just talk to her, she can definitely save face and salvage the situation. She musters her courage. Forcing a smile, she approaches our boy's mom, calling out her name, but she doesn't even spare her a glance, bypassing the crowd entirely.
Instead, she walks straight over to our boy under 100 shocked eyes.
She reaches out her hand, doing something that makes everyone's jaws literally hit the floor. She pinches his cheek, asking if he's done playing around. Her tone is incredibly warm yet exasperated, like scolding her own naughty kid.
Complaining that he's been running around for so long without visiting home.
She says they miss him like crazy, while he whispers that she's overacting a bit.
Beside him, Bai Ningbing is totally dumbfounded, looking back and forth between them.
Her jaw literally hits the floor. She is too stunned to even take a sip of her drink. What is actually happening? The legendary she-boss just pinched Fang Yuan's cheek and said she missed him?
Even Bai Jingbing is stunned for a second before flashing a knowing smile.
He looks at Fang Yuan, then glances over at Qin Lan.
It clicks for him. So this is the heir of the Fang family. Talk about keeping a secret, CEO Qin.
Wait, the heir of the massive Huanyu Group? Boom, another absolute bombshell drops on the crowd. If Bai Ningbing's reveal earlier was a shock, then learning about Fang Yuan is absolute horror. This ordinary office guy
is actually the legendary sole heir to Huanyu Group, the same guy Liu Ruyan called?
A completely useless loser who happens to be the billionaire she once desperately tried to marry. Naturally, every single eye in the room immediately locks onto Liu Ruyan.
Pure pity, mockery, and absolute schadenfreude from everyone.
Liu Ruyan's face is past the point of pale.
She looks completely dead inside as she stares at Qin Lan.
And Bai Jingbing, the two biggest titans in the city, laughing and chatting with Fang Yuan. Meanwhile, poor Bai Ningbing is standing there totally lost,
yet adored by both titans. Watching this, Liu Ruyan feels her entire world
completely shatter. All her pride, her social standing, her ego is nothing but a massive joke now. Talk about an epic face slap. The small-time boss she looked down on is a massive heiress, and the guy she called a leech is the crown prince of Huanyu. The loser she discarded is the darling of both elite families. In the end, she is the only one who was completely kept in the dark. A total fool. No, this can't be real, she mutters to herself. She stumbles back in absolute despair until her legs completely give out. And she collapses miserably onto the floor, and guess what? Nobody even helps her up. When faced with absolute power, all her petty pride and arrogance instantly turn to dust. Meanwhile, Fang Yuan just turns his head, looks at the completely frozen girl beside him, and quietly whispers, "Hey, Boss Bai, do you still think my mom is trying to hook up with me?" Fang Yuan has absolutely no memory of how the rest of the ceremony even went. He just remembers Bai Ningbing buffering the entire time, totally lost in a daydream. When the host finally announces the winner of the Best Commercial Space Design Award,
as Sweetheart Design, Fang Yuan literally has to nudge her. She snaps out of it, walking up to the stage completely dazed. She numbly accepts the trophy from Liu Ruyan, while Fang Yuan watches closely. Liu Ruyan's hands are shaking uncontrollably as she hands over the award. Her eyes are hollow, like her soul left her body. Back at their seats, Bai Ningbing is still dreaming. She pinches her cheek and pokes the trophy, asking Fang Yuan if this is actually real. "It is totally real," he laughs, gently pulling her back down to her seat. She looks at him with wide eyes and whispers, "So CEO Qin is actually your mom? And Huanyu Group belongs to your family? And Chairman Bai is my dad?" She sounds so unsure about that last part that Fang Yuan bursts out laughing. "The first two are correct," he says, "but you should probably ask your mom about the last one." Her face flushes red instantly as she playfully punches his arm, telling him to stop teasing. That punch is so soft, it basically feels like flirting. But once the ceremony ends, they immediately get mobbed by a massive crowd of people trying to suck up to them. Fang Yuan shields Bai Ningbing, pushing through the chaos, with Assistant Zhang and her dad's bodyguards clearing a path. They finally break out and head to the parking lot. There, Fang Yuan's mom and Chairman Bai are waiting by the cars. His mom immediately waves Bai Ningbing over, calling her to come say hello. Bai Ningbing completely freezes, giving Fang Yuan a helpless, panicked look. He gently nudges her forward, teasing that the daughter-in-law has to meet the parents eventually. She blushes hard and mutters a quiet protest, but still walks over obediently. His mom holds her hand, absolutely beaming with joy.
She is totally loving her. Meanwhile, Chairman Bai
Just has this proud dad face, happy his daughter finally found a great guy. Not far away, a completely devastated Liu Ruyan stumbles out of the venue. She stops dead in her tracks, watching this happy family scene. A forced, miserable smile creeps onto her face, and she does not dare approach. She just stands there from a distance, looking like a total ghost. And honestly, after tonight, the Liu Group is completely done.
They offended Yunding and Huanyu. Her family is officially banned from high society. But honestly, who cares? Not Fang Yuan.
She brought this on herself. He looks away, completely ignoring her.
Because right now, his entire world is right here.
This shy, adorable girl who is currently burying her face in embarrassment
Just because his mom called her pretty, she is everything to him. On the drive back, Bai Ningbing drives her pink Beetle in absolute silence. The silence in the car is actually deafening.
She keeps her eyes glued to the road, her jaw tight with tension.
Fang Yuan knows she is furious. Furious because he lied to her.
He finally breaks the silence, telling her to ask whatever she wants. She completely ignores him. She pulls up to her apartment and cuts the engine, still refusing to speak. Fang Yuan unbuckles his seatbelt and turns to look at her. Bai Ningbing finally turns around, her eyes red and filled with tears. She looked so incredibly hurt, calling him a massive liar. Her voice cracks as she demands to know why he hid the truth. She was losing sleep over a few $1,000s in rent like an idiot. Did he seriously find it funny seeing her push him out of danger? Fang Yuan looks at her earnestly, insisting he never found it funny.
Then why did you keep me in the dark?
She was literally racking her brain to protect him and save him from his mother's schemes. She asks if he was secretly laughing at her. Fang Yuan sighs deeply. He reaches out to gently touch her face, but she instantly flinches away from him.
He admits he kept it a secret at first because he just wanted a normal life. But things quickly changed. He looks directly into her eyes, sounding completely serious. Watching her run herself ragged for the company, Fang Yuan admits he loved watching her fight others for him, even when she was low-key terrified. She still stood right in front of him, and he fell hard. She freezes up, tears pool in her eyes, forgotten. He confesses how much he loved her constant worry and her clumsy attempts to protect him. To him, her treating him like her entire world was a feeling he just couldn't lose. That is why he hid the truth, terrified that everything would change once she found out. He feared she wouldn't worry about him anymore or feel responsible for him. Or worse, she might just walk away. At this point, the car goes dead silent. Bai Ningbing just bites her lips, staring with a deeply complex look. She sniffles, her voice sounding incredibly thick with unshed tears. She asks if she was just some clown running around in his eyes back then. No way! He vigorously shakes his head, completely denying it. She was his only light in the darkness, and if he knew this would hurt her so badly, he would have absolutely confessed the entire truth to her on day one. He desperately pulls her hand directly to his chest, begging for forgiveness. But his feelings for her are completely real, and as she feels his chest, that racing, powerful heartbeat, the ice in her eyes finally melts. She stays silent for so long, he genuinely thinks he is about to get rejected. But then, she suddenly leans in close before he can even process what is happening. A soft, sweet kiss, smelling of gardenias, lands right on his lips. He completely freezes up in shock. His mind goes totally blank at this, but she just pulls back after a quick, soft touch. And then she unbuckles her seatbelt. Oh, she is cooking now. Leaning forward, she grabs his collar with both hands and pulls him back in. This is definitely no gentle peck. This time it is a deeply punishing kiss. It is a dominant, inescapable deep kiss that pins him against the seat, totally helpless. It is packed with all her frustration, fear, and hidden love. After what feels like forever, she finally lets him go, both of them completely breathless. Flushed and breathless, she glares at him, telling him to listen up. She's forgiving him this once, but from now on, his family fortune is hers to manage.
His abs, his body, and everything he owns is hers, and if he ever lies again...
Well, she tries to threaten him, but she cannot think of any harsh words.
Giving up entirely, she just buries her blushing face right in his chest. She softly mumbles that she will cry, and he looks at his adorable girl acting spoiled.
He finally bursts out laughing and wraps his arms around her as tightly as possible.
He whispers in her ear that everything he is, including his heart, belongs to her now.
From now on, he belongs to her. The next day, massive news rocks the business world. Massive groups announce a marriage alliance with young master Fang Yuan and heiress Bai Ningbing getting hitched soon. The featured picture shows them at the awards ceremony, completely surrounded by their smiling families. In the photo, she is leaning against his chest, looking incredibly shy and beautiful. And he is looking down at her with a gaze absolutely dripping with sweet affection. The entire internet completely goes wild. Talk about a literal fairy tale ending. A real-life prince and princess story. Everyone is low-key jealous.
Some netizens admit they were actually mocking her small design workshop just yesterday.
Only to find out she is a literal billionaire heiress, and he is definitely no toy boy. Turns out our boy is actually the Huanyu heir. Massive face slap, and everyone is memeing on his ex.
She dumped him for her career. Now, pure regret.
Serves her right. Fang Yuan just laughs while scrolling through the wild comments.
He is shaking with laughter. Then, a sweet voice asks what is so funny.
It is Bai Ningbing. She walks out of the bedroom rubbing her eyes in his oversized white shirt.
The hem barely covers her thighs. Long, perfect legs. Absolutely gorgeous.
Fang Yuan's nosebleed is about to start.
He quickly looks away. Just watching some absolute clowns, he jokes. She leans over, blushing instantly.
No looking, she demands, trying to snatch the phone, but he smoothly pulls her onto his lap.
What, is the big boss president actually feeling shy?
She gets defensive. Not shy at all, she stutters. She is just complaining about the gossip, but he leans down and kisses her hair.
He whispers that they are the gossip now. She cuddles closer. Snuggling into his chest, she whispers that this all feels like a beautiful dream.
He holds her tighter. Not a dream, he promises. From now on, you have me.
She looks up with sparkling eyes. Are you still going to be a slacker? Obviously. He boasts about being the absolute grandmaster of slacking off.
Her face instantly drops. Absolute defeat.
But he quickly teases her before he slacked off alone.
Now, he gets to slack off while holding his beautiful wife. She playfully punches his chest. Warm morning sunlight fills the room.
Golden light surrounds them. Pure bliss.
Honestly, Fang Yuan's slacker life has officially reached its peak. Before, he watched his workers grind while he chilled. Now, his boss wife rules the company while he warms the bed. Perfect.
Who could complain? Who would say no to a wife this sweet?
She is cute, clingy, and absolutely perfect. As for the haters who once looked down on them,
let all that toxic drama fade away into the wind.
Only love remains.
Just pure romance, peace, and endless slacking off together.